It really is a shame how fast ARMS fell off. This game is highly underrated and is one of the most creative fighting games I've ever played. It may not have had the most content out there, but for what it is, I still enjoy coming back to this one. So that's why today, I'll be ranking the top 10 ARMS characters. This list is based on what each character's ARMS can do, as well as how much I enjoyed playing as them. And keep in mind that I'm playing with each character's default ARMS, that way I can't choose the list. Now then, get your ARMS ready and let's get to the countdown. Number 10. Dr. Coyle. This mad scientist was the last character added to ARMS via free updates, and also just so happens to be the first character on this list. Now right off the bat, you can tell she's a pretty powerful character. All of her ARMS deal a lot of damage and are all really fun to use. I especially love using the Funchuck, as it's good for both offense and defense. My main gripe with her is that she doesn't have a normal jump. Instead, she's able to hover through the air indefinitely. Now that might sound cool and all, but honestly, I prefer jumping normally. Hovering just feels so slow and awkward. I feel vulnerable whenever I use it, and that isn't a good thing. This is a game where you have to be able to move and dodge quickly, and I just don't feel like I can do that with Dr. Coyle. She also moves at a snail's pace. Like, could you pick up the pace a little? Jeez! I applaud the developers for trying to do something different with the last character, but I've never found her to be too practical. Number 9. Asango. You know, I actually feel kinda bad for putting this guy so low on the list, since he used to be my main, but that's just life, I guess. Anyways, Asango moves much faster than Dr. Coyle, and has a pretty decent selection of ARMS. My favorite one has to be the Scorpio, since it has a pretty short charge time and is pretty powerful all things considered. However, his other ARMS are a different story. The Glusher bounces on the ground when you punch, and it just doesn't feel very natural. And Scully, although good, feels very delayed and just isn't that fun to use. One thing that is cool about Asango though is his little spirit buddy. By charging your shield, he can give you special power-ups that either increase your speed or give you better grab range. It can be a little complicated to pull off at first, but it's a nice bonus for competitive players. There really are a lot of good things about this character, but at the end of the day, I just don't think he's for me. Number 8. Mechanica. This is another character that puts power above everything else. Her revolver and homie ARMS pack quite a punch and feel really great to use. Plus, she's able to hover in the air by holding down the jump button. And unlike Dr. Coyle, it isn't at the expense of a regular jump. This feels much more natural and makes it way easier to dodge attacks and rack up combos. The only downside though is her speed. She moves pretty slow on the battlefield, which can make playing as her a bit of a slog. I suppose the hovering sorta makes up for that, but I'd much rather be able to move around quickly than to fly. Either way, she's still a really fun character to play as, and can we talk for a second about how she's basically in a giant mech suit? Like, how is that fair? Robots are way stronger, so how is she even allowed to compete if she's that overpowered? Wait, there's actual robots you can play as in this game? What even are rules anymore? Jeez! Number 7. Ribbon Girl. Welp, Nintendo created a waifu. What the hell did I just say? Okay, but Ribbon Girl is definitely the best character we've seen so far. She's one of the fastest characters in the game, giving her an edge over the ones we've previously talked about. And her arm selection is pretty solid too. The popper is especially fun to use because it shoots out confetti whenever you throw a punch. And she's got a double jump too, which is a godsend. This combined with her fast movement makes her extremely versatile both on the ground and in the air. She just feels so good to control. Like, honestly, half of the fun from playing as her is just moving around. I'm not even joking. However, all this free movement comes at a price. Ribbon Girl's attacks deal very little damage and just don't feel as powerful as other characters. I found myself taking much longer to defeat my opponents with her compared to everyone else, and that kind of ruined her for me. But it's not the worst thing in the world, as I still really enjoy playing as her. I just wish that she was a tad stronger. Number 6. Master Mummy. I can't believe that the ARMS universe was so technologically advanced that they were able to bring a mummy back to life and force it to compete in fighting tournaments. But I'm kind of glad they did, because this character is a ton of fun to use. First off, this guy's got the most powerful grab in the game, dealing 200 damage per throw. He's also got super armor and is able to heal himself by blocking attacks. So not only is he powerful, but he's practically indestructible too. And his arms are pretty great as well. The Megaton and Retorture arms are especially good and look pretty cool, if I must say. His only downside though is, once again, you're too slow! I guess that with such good defense it doesn't really matter, but he just isn't that fun to control as the characters later on in this list. And I get that a game like this is gonna have slow characters, but I feel like every other character on this list moves slower than the tectonic plates. I'm being a bit harsh here. Master Mummy is still really fun for just goofing around with your friends, but not that great for competitive matches. Number 5. Ninjara. In case you couldn't tell by the name, this guy's a ninja. Look at him. Green hair, chains. What do you mean you couldn't tell this guy was a ninja? But appearances aside, this character is definitely the best one we've seen so far. He's got good speed, an incredible jump, and a pretty decent reach. He's also got some incredible arms, mainly the Tri-Blast, which sends out 3 tiny arms that hit your opponent individually and feel really satisfying to use. The Chakram's another really solid one, and buff isn't too bad either. We're honestly at the point where there really isn't anything wrong with these characters. Ninjara, although not my favorite, is still really awesome and one that I would definitely recommend to anybody. Number 4. Max Brass. Alright, let's get the obvious part out of the way first, okay? He's too damn slow. Bet you didn't see that one coming, whoa! But honestly, Max Brass is hella powerful and is definitely one of the best characters in the game. All 3 of his arms are excellent, but if I had to choose one, I'd say the Nade is the best. And with his incredibly overpowered stats, there's just no doubt you won't have a good time with him. I actually remember people complaining when he was originally added because he was too overpowered and hard to beat. It actually got so bad that Nintendo had to step in and nerf him in the next update. Luckily, they didn't tamper with him too much, as aside from his speed, he's still perfect for whipping your opponent's asses to Timbuktu. Number 3. Twintel. Here we have one of the most unique fighters in the game, as she's the only one to not use her arms in battle. Instead, she uses her hair to attack her opponents, which is really cool. But wouldn't that make the title of this game a lie? Shouldn't it be called Arms plus Twintel? Either way, she's still a really cool character who definitely deserves more praise. She's especially good at air dodging, which makes avoiding enemies' attacks much more manageable, and her selection of arms is exceptionally good too. They're all really strong and have a decent range. But one of the most interesting things about Twintel is the speed of her attacks. She punches slightly slower than everyone else, making it a little easier to aim your arms in the right direction. That might not sound like the biggest deal in the world, but I definitely noticed the difference while playing as her. Either way, she's still one of the best characters in the game by a long shot. And I gotta say, Twintel do be shaking it. What the hell did I just say? Now we're at the point where the rest of these characters have little to nothing wrong with them, so don't expect too many negative comments from here on out. Number 2. Kid Cobra. Also known as who? Seriously. Who is this guy? Out of all the characters in ARMS, this is the last one I think about every time. But after trying him out again recently, I think I'll remember him more fondly because this guy brings a lot to the table. His Slap-O-Mander and Hydra arms are both some of the best in the game, and his stats are pretty good too. He's also the highest jumping character in the game, so he doesn't have a hard time evading attacks or moving about. Honestly, there isn't a lot to say about him that hasn't already been said. His arms are good, his stats are great, and that's all you really need to be a top ARMS fighter. I mean, at this point, I feel like I've been writing the same thing over and over again with every single character so far. If anyone's actually still watching this, I applaud you for making it this far, because I've pretty much been repeating myself the whole time. Okay, back to the show. Number 1. Min Min. You'd be a fool if you thought number 1 would go to anyone besides Min Min. And no, it's not because she's in Smash Bros. I legitimately consider her to be the best character in the game. I guess the first place to start would be her arms. They're all really awesome, especially the dragon. It shoots out a laser whenever you throw a punch and is really great for comboing. Next is her ability to increase the size of her left arm. By charging up her shield, whatever arm is equipped on the left side will grow twice as large. This not only gives her more power, but makes it much easier to hit enemies. Plus, it doesn't go away until you get a critical hit, which is completely broken. And finally, she can stop her opponent's arms with just a kick. Seriously, this woman is a goddess among mortals. She is the best ARMS character for this reason alone, and it isn't even a competition. Also, Min Min do be kinda fine, not gonna lie. What the hell did I just say? Well, that was a video. I'm by no means a professional ARMS player, so if I got anything wrong, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. And if you liked today's video, consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on future videos. I've got a lot of awesome stuff planned for the next few months, and I hope you'll stick around to see it. Until next time, goodbye.